We'll deal with it.
Welcome to me and my uncle.
NFL Weekly Rundown. It's Conference Championship Week.
Crazy.
It is. Time flies when you're having fun. And we did have fun, didn't we, this year? I mean, I feel like this is my favorite Bears season that ended with a loss in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so much fun along the way, so many great comebacks, so many great moments, even great moments in the loss against the Rams that passed to Kmet.
amazing.
I mean,
And Kmet, and a few plays before that, Colston Loveland got out, which he is a hero.
yeah,
And then Kmet came in
steps right in.
and then almost saves the game.
And there's Kmet, a guy who basically had his job taken by Loveland. You know, Kmet was a decent tight end. And sometimes they're on the field at the same time. But yeah, when Loveland went out, they had to go to Kmet. And how did Caleb hit him? I mean, was that his best throw of the year? There's so many to choose
that
from.
one or a Doomsday earlier in the season.
Yeah, the one against the Packers that
Yeah.
converted the fourth down. Yeah. You know, the only thing that has me a little sad is, man, the Bears had a chance. It would have almost been easier had they gotten blown out by the Rams. You know, because then you could have said, they just weren't as good as the Rams. But they really were. Do you wonder, have you thought about it all, what if after the Kmet touchdown the Bears went for two?
I think I would have preferred that.
I know. Now, in retrospect, you look back and you say, boy, I wish they had. Because even if they missed, they lost anyway. So, you know, I just think, because you're kind of depending on a coin flip. You're depending on the defense to make a stop, which they actually did. You know what? The defense pretty much saved the day for the Bears. I mean, kept them in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brisker and Gordon were playing out of their minds. 17 points to the Rams in regulation when that's the highest scoring team in the NFL. I was talking with my Uncle Steve a little bit about it, and doesn't it feel like the Bears, it's like if the offense was playing great, like in the Niners game, the defense was kind of struggling. And then in the Rams game, the defense plays great, but the offense kind of struggles for most of the game.
Yeah.
It's like, boy, if next year you could put those two together,
you're unstoppable.
you could be. So I wish they could just kind of have a dominant. Okay, they crushed Dallas and they crushed Cleveland, big deal. But those were like their only really convincing, just beat them up, both sides of the ball, dominating.
Which, rather than that, it's kind of been neck and neck.
Neck and neck, almost every single game. I mean, still, I don't know how many games were decided in the last minutes or whatever, but it was 7 that went the Bears' way, you know.
Yeah.
And the last couple, well, they didn't go as well as we would have hoped. I feel like the arrow is pointed way up for this team, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, they're going to have some questions because Jaquan Brisker is a free agent and Kevin Byard's a free agent, and there are some other guys who they'll have to make decisions on. So we'll see if they come back with the same team, but they're going to have Caleb. They're going to have Burden and Odunze, probably DJ Moore.
Probably Loveland. Well,
Loveland for sure. The offensive line is locked in.
Monungai, probably Swift.
He'll be back. Swift, I think, will be back. So, you know, the offense will pretty much all be back. I think on defense, they got some decisions to make at safety. Will they bring in new guys, or will they hope to try to re-sign the guys they have? And they got to add to the defensive line. I feel like you need to get guys who can get on the passer.
Yeah.
Maybe trade for Max Crosby.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
I don't know who they would trade.
A lot of draft picks probably is what it would cost them. So there we are, saying goodbye to the 2025 Bears. Great season. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, but I still feel like we can say it was great.
Yeah.
Okay, what other games caught your eye? Let's, Buffalo, Denver.
Broncos, Denver, yeah.
How did Bo Nix break his
I
leg or
didn't
whatever.
see anything crazy.
You know, because he took a knee on like the last play before the field goal, and then I don't know if he jogged off the field or what, but at the end of the game, the coach says, "Yeah, Bo Nix is out for the season." And some people are wondering, did he hurt himself celebrating in the locker room or something? Because it didn't look like it happened on the field.
Yeah.
So I really have no idea. Your Uncle Tim is probably a little more dialed in with what the heck happened to Bo Nix. But man, Josh Allen, 5 turnovers by the Bills, 4 of them by Allen.
That was not good.
And he was crushed at the end of the game. He was just like, man, I let down my teammates. But he's still one of the best players in the NFL, you know? It's
Yeah.
just, boy, this year it looked like it was Buffalo's year, the way that the teams were kind of, falling out.
Who are you picking now to be the Super Bowl?
Well, now that we're down to 2,
I guess
we'll get
We'll
into
find
it.
out.
We'll find out, yeah. And maybe we'll also say who we think's going to win it once, maybe at the end of the video. San Francisco, Seattle. I think we talked a little bit on Sunday night when I came over. That was just a stinker.
Yeah.
Pretty much from the first kickoff, it was just Seattle coasting to an easy win.
41-6 was it?
Yeah. Just Purdy looked bad. The 49ers defense that's been so banged up finally, looked like they just had no legs left, had nothing.
Yeah.
We watched a touch, maybe the second half of the Houston-New England game. Well, you watched the whole thing, but I came over at halftime.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud, talk about turnovers.
Tough game.
4 picks in the first half. How do you not pull him?
Yeah.
And that was they had the best defense in the league. It's like, hey, C.J., all you got to do is not screw up. But the problem was they got no running game from Marks or Chubb.
Yeah, they didn't play good.
So it puts it all on C.J. Stroud, and he made some just dumb decisions. His interception for a touchdown was ugly. It looked like Max Brosmer out there.
Yeah.
And we talked about the Bears-Rams game. There's not much more I think we have to say about that one. Stafford played all right. Boy, didn't the Bears kind of shut down Nakua and Adams?
Yeah.
You just didn't hear that much about them.
I feel like Nakua had a few good plays,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing insane.
No, and you know what hurt the Bears too on offense? Every 3rd and short, 4th and short, they just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of the reason they didn't go for that 2-point at the end, because it's like they're stopping us on all these. But still, I would have liked them to just bring out their best 2-point play in the whole playbook and say, let's go win it. Thing about Ben Johnson, he's a smart coach. He learns from his mistakes. If he thought that was a mistake, he's going to keep it in the back of his head for the next time that happens. And the rule of thumb is, at home, you play to tie the game in that situation. If you were on the road, they say go for the win with the 2-point. So, the Bears. But the other thing is, if you have momentum, you just scored a touchdown, ride that momentum for one more play.
I know.
Still, I'm not going to question Ben Johnson. The guy got the Bears to 11-6 and got them a victory over the Packers in the playoffs. We should be happy with the progress that was made.
Yeah.
Do you know that today, 1 year ago, the Bears hired Ben Johnson?
Really?
So think about how we were feeling 1 year ago. We're like, okay, new coach, but geez, 5-12, good luck. So 1 year later, we can hold our heads high and say, bring on 2026. Okay, you probably are interested in how you did picking games.
Sure.
Straight up, last week you went 3-1. Ooh, I went 1-3. Your grandpa went 2-2. Against the spread, you went 1-3. Your grandpa and I went 2-2.
Yeah.
So, in the playoffs, straight up picking winners, you have 7 wins, 3 losses. Your grandpa and I have 6 wins, 4 losses. So with only 3 games to play, you have a 1-game lead. Against the point spread, I have 7 wins, 3 losses. You have 6 wins, 4 losses. Your grandpa has 6 wins, 4 losses.
Okay.
So I got a 1-game lead against the spread with 3 games left. So if we pick the same, it's going to be hard to make up any ground. But we'll see what happens. What is the 2 o'clock game on Sunday?
Patriots, Broncos.
So, what are these teams did not play in the 2025 season. So, what are your initial thoughts about this one?
Well, Drake May, amazing. Pretty good game, I would say.
He played good enough, and
Yeah.
really CJ Stroud kind of gift wrapped it for them.
Which, that's maybe a similar
Similar?
quarterback to how Broncos quarterback will play.
Well, the Broncos quarterback is a total wild card, Jarrett Stidham. You probably don't know too much about him. I wrote a few notes, okay?
Okay.
He played in 20 games in his career for the Patriots, Raiders, and Broncos. All right?
Okay.
He only started 4 games. His record as a starter, 1 win, 3 losses. But he went 1-1 in 2023, 2 years ago, when he started games for the Broncos. He has 8 career touchdowns, 8 career interceptions, and he's not much of a runner. So that is the scouting report I have on Jarrett Stidham.
Is he Rivers or Shador Sanders?
Well, he's probably more of a Rivers in that he's he's kind of a statue.
Okay.
He's not as old. This is in like his 5th year, I think. I don't think he threw a pass one of the years that he played, or he didn't even appear on the field. So, yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of a real unknown. Nobody knows what they're getting on Sunday. Any other ideas about this one, or should I give you a couple more of my points?
You got it.
You got it? I got it?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting matchup here. The Broncos have the 3rd best scoring defense in the NFL. So they allow the 3rd fewest points when they're on defense. But the Patriots have the 2nd scoring offense, 2nd best, to the Rams. So let's look at what they did most recently. Well, Denver's 3rd best scoring defense gave up 30 points to the Bills last week. So the good offense kind of got the good defense, right?
Yeah.
They got the best of them. Although, best of them, but still, Denver won. How did New England's 2nd scoring offense do? Well, they scored 28 points against the Texans, who had the 2nd best scoring defense in the NFL. So 28 points against a really good defense, that's pretty good. I will say one of those was a defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
So really they only scored 21 on offense, but still they kind of did their part. Other than that, I would say then when Denver is on, well, this is another point when Denver's on defense. Denver allows the fewest yards per pass play in the NFL. Under 5 yards when you factor in sacks. So that tells me, for one thing, they have like 70 sacks this season, which is a big number. And Surtain and Riley Moss, I think is his name, their other corner, are really good at keeping the offense from getting big plays. Okay?
Oh, I just thought of something.
Yeah.
It's not really the topic we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
but when does it come out of who gets Coach of the Year, Player of the Year,
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year?
I bet that is maybe the night before the Super Bowl, or maybe the weekend of the Pro Bowl in between this
Okay.
week's games and the Super Bowl. So we'll see if we have that information, because we'll do an All-Pro show, right, next week, and then we'll do our Super Bowl video. So we'll have 2 more shots, and if any of that information is out, like MVP, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, I'll have that too, okay? Or I'll definitely tell you when it's out there. So we got Denver's pass defense against New England's number 1 yards per pass attempt. So the Patriots get the most yards when they pass, And the Broncos give up the least yards when teams pass against them. So how did that play out last week? Well, Drake May had less than 5 yards per pass attempt against the Texans' good defense.
Yeah.
But they kind of, May played right like how Denver is sort of plays every week. Kind of bad, as far as at least stretching the field, and he got sacked a lot. How did Denver's great pass defense do against Josh Allen? Well, Josh Allen did have 4 pass plays of more than 20 yards. I think 2 of them might have been 40.
Wow.
So, again, there's Denver's defense showing a little bit of cracks against a good offense.
Yeah.
So that's what I've got as far as my notes. Do you have anything else to say about this AFC Championship game, or are you gonna just make a pick?
I mean, I don't really think I trust Stidham at all.
That's the hardest part and Denver doesn't have that great of a running game to lean on.
Yeah, but I guess last year I haven't really seen Drake May under this much pressure.
It's gonna be, and it's a road game. It's in Denver, so there's gonna be pressure.
There's gonna be a lot of pressure on May.
There's also pressure in that the Patriots are 5.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
So you're going into Denver, everybody thinks you're gonna win. That is pressure.
There's a lot of pressure on them, and I haven't seen May with pressure on them because, I mean, last year they didn't even make the playoffs.
Not even close.
So.
And this year, they had like the easiest schedule in the NFL. So really, his only game to really prove himself was last week. And it was hard to prove himself. I told you some of his numbers, like his yards per pass attempt or yards per pass play wasn't great. But he didn't have to do much.
Yeah. So
against Jarrett Stidham, are the Patriots really going to ask him to go out and win the game? Or are they just going to say, Drake, just don't lose it for us?
So I don't know if I trust either of these quarterbacks that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to have to pick not the upset. So.
Yeah.
Drake May and the Patriots, 31. Broncos, 29.
Can I borrow that? I'll write that down because I'll just write it here. Danny, so you're going, what did you say, 31?
31, 29.
31, 29. Okay, I'm going to give both teams 10 fewer points, but I am going to have the Patriots win the game 21-19. I just think it's hard to believe in Jarrett Stidham. You're right, Drake May is a little bit of a wild card too, but he played at an almost MVP level. I think Stafford's going to win the MVP, but Drake May is probably going to finish second.
Yeah.
So he's kind of done it for 18 games now. Stidham, I don't even know if he's thrown a pass. He has not thrown a pass this year.
And also the Broncos don't have the most amazing running back in the world.
Yeah, R.J. Harvey, and I think the guy is named Jaleel McLaughlin. He had a nice touchdown run against the Bills. But they're just not, they're great. They're not great. So can you really rely on them when the way New England's going to play defense? It's like, let's dare Stidham to beat us. So they're gonna try to stop the run, right?
Yeah.
And see what Jarrett Stidham can do. So you're gonna get a lot of guys creeping up into the box, getting ready to stuff the run. They're gonna dare Jarrett Stidham to beat them.
Yeah.
And I don't think either of us think that he will. Okay, what could have been but isn't the NFC Championship game? Who is playing?
Rams, Seahawks.
So I will say before I hand it over to you, I'm going to say there were 2 games because these are division rivals, right?
Yeah.
So these teams played this year. Once in November in LA, and the Rams won 21-19. It might have been Sam Darnold's worst game of the season. He threw 4 interceptions. Kyron Williams ran wild with 12 runs for 91 yards, which is a really good average, like 7, I think, a run, and 1 touchdown. But only 12 carries, so I don't know how exactly that happened, but the Rams got the win, mostly because Darnold made 4 picks. In Seattle, they played in December. Seattle won in overtime, 38-37. It was that crazy. Do you remember that crazy Zach Charbonnet 2-point conversion
yeah.
where it just looked like the play was dead because they called an incomplete pass, but he picked it up and walked it into the end zone, and they're like, touchdown, because that was a fumble. What? But yeah, the Seahawks won that game. That pretty much propelled them to win the division and get the 1 seed. So I feel like whoever won that game was going to host this game.
Yeah.
And it turned out being Seattle. Again, Kenneth Walker III and Jackson Smith and Jigba had big games. In Seattle, so when you do a 2-point conversion, it's kind of a coin toss. You're going to get it about once every other time.
Yeah.
You're going to get it once, you're going to miss it once. Seattle won this game in part because they converted 3 straight 2-point conversions in the fourth quarter and overtime. So the odds of that happening again, getting 3 2-point conversions successfully in a row, it's not very good.
Yeah.
So why don't you give me a couple points about how you feel, what are the keys to the game? I'll give you a couple keys to the game, and we'll make our picks.
Okay. So we'll talk a little bit about the Bears.
Yeah.
Because I want to.
Yeah.
The Rams are not the Packers, so the Rams are not rude. I'll give them that.
They're not our rival.
They were, not playing nice, obviously.
Playing to
They
win.
weren't playing a rude game.
It wasn't dirty. They were classy at the end of the game. I heard Ben Johnson was very complimentary of Sean McVay, the Rams coach. McVay was very complimentary of Ben Johnson. Said, I think he said something like, "You beat our bleeps. You like the Bears really beat them up. Obviously, they didn't win, but And I saw Devontae Adams greet Caleb Williams at midfield when the game ended, and they had one of them wired so you could hear what they were saying. Devontae Adams basically said, "Man, you're a dog, Caleb. You are a dog," which means you're a beast. So that to me showed a lot of respect that neither team felt in that Bears-Packers game. And that's just the way, rivalries are going to be like that. Fans are going to get a little snippy. The teams are going to get a little bit, dirty, rude, as you said.
Yeah.
But I saw none of that out of the Rams. And I saw none of it out of the Bears either. Hey, the Rams won. Good luck going forward. I would not have said the same thing if the Packers beat the Bears.
Yeah.
I would have said, I hope you lose by 60 next week.
So, I'm not cheering for the Rams at all because they beat the Bears. But
See, I wonder. I kind of told your sister when I left on Sunday. I said, if the Rams won it, then the Bears could say, we lost to the team that won the Super Bowl. And you were just, you weren't one game away, but you lost to the eventual champion. That's the way I see it. You can feel differently, So you may not cheer for the Rams, and I get that because they did beat the Bears.
So I'm actually cheering for Seattle because I think the Broncos are going to get out easily, and Patriots. I've never really liked them, but I've never really hated them.
Yeah.
So
you're jumping on Seattle's bandwagon here for cheering at least? Okay.
But now how do I think they're going to play? I think Darnold might have one of those shaky-ish games, which he's dropping the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do think the Rams or the Seahawks will kind of have a good defense.
Well,
and get some points on defense.
That's one of my points is, once you turn it over to me, I'll talk a little bit about that.
So, I think that's how the Seahawks are going to get a lot of their points. So, I'm going to pick the Seahawks.
Wait 1 minute on that one, okay? I'll give you a couple more points. Interesting matchup. Rams. We know they're the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. We know that Seattle is the best scoring defense. So, good on good. Actually, great on great, right?
Yeah.
So we look at how they did last week. Well, the Rams were only able to score 20 points against the Bears, who really didn't have a very good defense.
Yeah.
Only 17 points in 4 quarters until overtime. So they scored well below what the Rams are used to scoring. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, 6 points to the 49ers in a playoff game. So the Rams' top scoring offense was a little shaky against the Bears. The Seahawks defense, you can't say they were shaky.
Yeah.
They were awesome. So I agree with your point that Seattle's defense might carry the day. And their special teams, hey, they got that kick return. I can't remember if they got a defensive score in that game, but it seemed like Purdy and McCaffrey, they were just getting pounded.
Yeah. So.
The only other thing I gotta say, or do you have something?
You can.
Okay, I'll get it out of the way. Turnovers, because Sam Darnold, he played on the offense that had the second most turnovers in the NFL. So, you said he's going to be a little shaky. That could get the Rams to play close, right? And the Rams were a top 5 defense when it comes to forcing turnovers. So if Darnold's got one of those games in him, how did he play last week? Well, the Seahawks had 0 turnovers. Okay, that probably helped them win by 5 touchdowns. And the Rams were able to force 3 interceptions against the Bears. So the Rams' strong defense making turnovers showed up last week. The Seahawks' propensity to make turnovers on offense, it didn't happen. They had none.
Yeah. So
I think it's pick time unless you got any other points.
I'm picking it close.
Me too.
I think the Seahawks are going to have their defense and win the game.
Do you have Seahawks by 2.5?
Yeah.
Yep, me too.
Seahawks 28, Rams 24.
Oh, I'm close to you. So you've got the Seahawks covering the point spread. So here's where you could make up maybe a little bit of ground against, or no, you have the lead against, maybe I could make up ground. I'm picking Seahawks 26-24. So only 2 points different from you, but we are different on the point spread. So I just want to tell you, I came over on Sunday night. I have not had more fun watching a Bears playoff loss in my life. It was, and there haven't been that many playoff losses that I can remember watching, but we had fun. We were defense. It kind of felt like we were there, or we were somehow connected to what was going on.
Yeah. So, the Bears had an incredible season. I'm pumped for next season.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna evolve.
Don't you think the sky's the limit for this team?
Yeah.
They can catch passes better. Maybe they can improve their defense. Caleb can, maybe be a little more accurate. And he certainly can't have 5 interceptions in the playoffs next year if they make it.
Yeah.
That's a little too much. I will say that 3 of those interceptions were on 4th down. So it's like the interception actually helped their field position. So they weren't it's like an incomplete pass would have been the same thing. So whether he, knew that and threw it up for grabs in those situations, I don't think that's the case, but there are a few things the Bears can improve on, and let's hope that they do, and that they're back next year with a just bitter taste in their mouth, and they want to beat everybody by 40.
Yeah.
So we both have Seattle, New England winning this one. Do we want to give a little tease of what we think might happen if that's the Super Bowl?
Okay. Like I said, I don't know if I trust Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
So if he is shaky on this game, I'm going to be looking at Seattle and saying your defense is better.
They are better than New England's, I agree.
Maybe your offense is better. I trust you more.
Okay.
So I think if Drake May plays a shaky game, I think Seattle will win the Super Bowl.
Okay, and for me, I kind of think that I would look at the other side of the ball and say Sam Darnold's the one who's got to prove it to me. I just want to see how he plays because if he's a little shaky, turnover prone, that could give New England a little shot to win. And I would also, the last thing I'll say is New England and Seattle actually already played in a Super Bowl. And it looked like Seattle was going to win the ball. They were at like the 1 or 2 yard line.
Yeah.
All they needed was a touchdown. Russell Wilson interception to Malcolm Butler.
Yeah.
And
I
Tom Brady's just like, just jumping along on the sideline. Couldn't believe that they won that one.
I feel like the same thing almost happened with the Steelers, maybe. I don't know. I might be thinking stuff.
Yeah, that was a Steelers interception that went like 100-yard return the other way right before halftime. I don't know if that's what you're thinking of.
Maybe.
But, yeah, so, and I don't think, let's see, Denver. Yeah, then there'd be no other Super Bowl that would be like one that was already played. So, okay, you want to hit that little red button and call it a day. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for bearing down with us for 19 games this year. It was fun. So, but we got more to go. We got a few more games to pick. So we'll be back for an all-pro week next week. See ya.